How's it going tonight, guys? Just working on a few projects here tonight. Light here, it's probably better. Angle is terrible. That's better. I'll get this till it's at the edge. It's not there yet. Leave the nut on the end and tap it back through so I don't damage the threads. Okay, this one's already loose. This is the one that's not. So let's put this one's nut back on and tap it gently. So if you put the nut on it, that protects the threads from being hit directly. And don't want to hit it too much, it's kind of sensitive, so it's not going quite yet. Kind of bound up in there or something. Let's try turning it from this side. Okay, it spins, so that's a good sign. It's loose on it. That's good. We did loosen it up. There we go. No harm done because we had that nut on the end. On this side. Okay, I see what we gotta do. How's everyone doing tonight? We're just flipping this around. This was put on backwards by accident, but I caught it when I took a look at it because it's pretty easy to put this on backwards, but it didn't look right like it's supposed to. So we'll put the nut back on this and tap it. So it's not a big deal. Sometimes when you put things together wrong, you just go back through and make sure it's right before you actually install it. It's not a big deal. It's a big deal if you don't put it back together, right? This thing. And I'm just being careful putting these nuts on here to tap it. So you're hitting the nut and not the actual threads and mushrooming the threads out. Because then this nut won't go on if you do something like that. Just being careful. Okay, we got it to break free. Perfect. It's supposed to be. Except that Loctite actually works pretty good. It's holding it onto the spot on there. I know what I'll do. I'll hold it stationary and spin it with the wrench on it. Break that stuff off of it. You see it's gummed up. That's that Loctite. Just scrape it out right here. So it's kind of neat to see that because I haven't taken anything apart that had this particular brand name of Loctite on it. It's just some off-brand stuff, but it seems to work pretty good. It's working good enough where the screw is like fighting me to back out. So that's what the Loctite's supposed to do though, right? It's a good sign. Yeah, he's stubborn. I think we got it now. Almost out. Okay, it's getting there. There we go. So this just had to be flipped. Like so. So that's how it's supposed to be. Simple fix. No big deal. We'll start the knot on this side so this doesn't back out while I'm trying to get the other one positioned right. Easier. There, that's enough threads on it so we can position this one the way we want it. Because that way we don't have to hold it in there with the other hand. Bam. And it's not super critical if the screws are facing the other way. As long as they're tightened and we put that Loctite stuff on it. Because this is going to be inside the engine bay. I don't really care if it's not both. I'm not that OCD. Being that it's facing the right direction, that's what I care about. If this was like a customer's vehicle, I'd make it all right. But this is okay. Being that the fasteners are getting Loctited and tightened and whatnot, that's what's important, in my opinion. Because that screw's already facing that way, and it's okay. I got tons of other stuff to do that's more important on this than that. Yeah, thanks for your comment. Good for you. Okay. Well, we can get this to go back the other way since it's not even in there yet. Yeah, let's just flip it so it's symmetrical. Since we can. I thought it was still stuck in there more, but it's not. It's okay. Okay, good start by hand. Now it's all correct. Just needs to be tightened. And then we're going to go through and get this excess silicone sticking out of here because that's going to attract dust and we don't want that. Because keeping these fins clean, this thing will have a lot better chance of staying cool like it's supposed to be. And we close our Loctite bottle or just off-brand generic stuff. It's actually pretty good though. It was fighting me just getting the bolts out, so pretty impressed for some generic stuff. That's the first time I ever tried generic like thread locker. You know, pretty impressed with it. Let's put this on here. I'll have to do it by hand a bit because the back drag's not low enough to just do it without it being pushed on more or tightened, I mean. So let's try that now. Make sure it's going tight. Okay. There we go. That's good. We got choking up on the ratchet so we don't strip nothing. We're not way down here on the handle. This is delicate stuff. Just get it nice and snug so there's not any like looseness in it. We're not super tight, and we're doing it from choked way up here. And we have this blue Loctite stuff already on it. Yeah, that's plenty right there. There, onto this other one. And then we'll clean it up good because like you say, we got this silicone squeezing out. That's gonna attract dirt and we don't want that. Trying our best to make it look decent, and then functionally this is a lot better off too. And you don't have all that gunk sticking out. Because that's not going to functionally do anything if you leave that on there. It's just going to attract dirt. And we don't want that. At least on my project. So this is just what I do, guys. I'm not telling you what to do. It's just what I do. And this is the ignition control module with the ignition coil for this 05 Astro van that I'm working on right here. I think that should be good. Then we're just going to wipe it up. Then we'll get onto the fuel filter where I left off earlier today. Before I had to go. We were one bolt out, and then we had to leave it at that. So we'll pick up that from where that was. And there's a little bit squeezed out here. I'll take that out too. Just anything that's sticking out where it's not supposed to be. Because this had dielectric grease that comes with the packet then when you get it. And it goes on this heat sink to transfer the heat to dissipate it correctly. And if that's not in there, this thing will burn out really fast. So it's a part of the design and keeping these fins clean and free of obstruction. It's basically like a little radiator to cool it off. And this thing, I'm pretty sure, was never changed the whole time this thing was owned by the previous owner. So I've had this thing for 1 year, this vehicle. And I did do a tune-up. And it's having a random misfire in two lean codes, PO171 and PO173 or 174 off the top of my head. I can't remember. They're both basically lean codes for each bank of the cylinders. There's a 6V6 on this thing. So that's what's going on. And also, before we can leave off on this, we're going to switch this over real quick. 1 second, let me grab it and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I can take these off because they're all covered in silicone. We don't need that on anymore. Okay, let me grab it and I'll show you. Then we'll switch to the fuel filter. Alrighty, here we go. So this is fresh from the tune-up I did. This spark plug wire that goes to the control ignition coil. Sorry. So that's what this is. The old one versus the new. This is brand new. I just changed this like last month, so this isn't getting thrown away. This part's getting thrown away though. That's probably 20 years old, my guess. So this can get lost. It's got its use out of it, 20 years old, okay? Don't care about it anymore. This is new. Going on to here. We'll get it in to bottom it out and be careful if you're doing this yourself. It's not the brake stuff. Okay. There we go. This one's ready to go in once we get to that part. So we're going to set this aside. Hi, ABG Bassar. I don't know if I butchered your name, but thanks for saying hi, brother. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate the kind word comments. That's good. So this thing's ready to go. So we're going to set it aside in like a safe place, which will be right here for now. That's okay. I'll take care of that later. I'm going to get a fresh pair of gloves on because we're going to take that fuel filter out and it'll have fuel. Most of the fuel's already bled off of the pressure because this thing's been torn apart for a bit. We've been doing head gaskets on it. I didn't have a blown head gasket. We were just in there because of this intake manifold next to it. Head gaskets right here, or the head cylinder, driver's side. And we had one valve that had pitting. If you're new here, just giving you a rundown of what's going on. So we were doing spider injector as well. This is the old spider injector. We got a fresh one to go in already, but we're just waiting on getting cylinder valves and new guts for it. So we're going to send it to the machine shop. So in the meantime, we're doing some other things that have to get done anyway. So we're going to get this fuel filter changed on it. Whoops. So let me get a pair of gloves on and we're going to get under the van because it has an external fuel filter on this particular vehicle. So let's do that now. And we were already halfway done with it, but I had to go earlier in the day. So now I have a chance to get under here and finish the job. So bear with me while I get the camera in place. I had a good position so I could actually see it without having to hold the camera. So get these gloves on because the gas is nasty. Here we go. And it's down here. I'm going to adjust the camera and get you guys in position. Let me get the light here too. Okay, now let's tilt it. Oh, the angle is kind of funky, so just a moment. There it is. Trying to get catch on there so it holds it. I think we're looking at the right spot. Yeah. Just a touch to the left, I think. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Let's continue now. Here's the new filter. It's going to be replacing this. This is preventative maintenance as well. This filter was changed about exactly a year ago, but I already put a new fuel filter or a fuel pump in this about a month ago. If you're curious on that, I made some videos on it of changing it. Anyway, since we're doing fuel injectors and everything else on this, I figure we might as well change this filter too. It's about $10 part, so I think it makes sense to me. So let's continue. We got this nut out already. And we just have to get to the one behind it, which is right there. Same size. So I had a 13/16 laying here earlier. This fits pretty good. It's not super tight, but it's good enough. And this sits on the flats right here, which would be on the filter itself. It's basically the welded nut part that's on it. So that's just stationary. The other one's a 16mm, and that one fits like a glove. That's the important one because that's the nut on this fitting that actually stays there. So if you booger that one up, you got to figure out something to change it out. If you booger this one up, it's thrown away anyway, and it didn't get boogered up. But just putting that out there. Let's continue. I could talk all day. Let's get the camera in a better angle. Actually, I see a lot better angle from here. Didn't realize that till now. Let's see. Right there. I think that's awesome, right? Let's just get you guys situated. Doesn't do no good if you can't see it, right? Oh. Let's get it situated and then continue. Angle is weird. The stand doesn't like that. That's this angle, but I don't care if it doesn't like it. We're gonna figure it out. Okay, and then back it up, and if I put this here, I think I can get it. I just have to put a shim under the stand. see it. There we go. About good. Oh, that's pretty good. I can get it to stay there. I think right here. Let me just pitch it over this way. Kind of tricky spot, guys, but we're figuring out the mechanics of it, and that's okay. I mean, I just want it to be able to be filmed, so what's the point of being on here if you guys can't even see it? You know what I mean? Okay, there it is. Right there. I think that's pretty good. Let's get the light better. Still kind of not good. Look. Here we go. Let's try resting on this. This is more sturdy. This thing's not. Well, I'll stack it. I guess to get better at filming and stuff, you just keep trial and error in it, you know. Hey man, how's it going? Thanks for saying hi. Appreciate it. How's it going tonight? Erasmo, Gazzano. So we're getting it in frame so we can film this fuel filter coming out. I think I got it to a good spot finally. Let me get the light in here. Oops. There we go. Too bright right there. Hang on. I know where to put it. I'll try it from this angle. Jeez. One moment, guys. Oh, I see. We could try it here. Yeah, I like that. Let's go with it. Definitely kind of an odd way to film from in here. Just the angle and how it's deep in there. I bumped it. I had a feeling I might do that. But we're back. Let's try this. Okay, so that's on there. Just got to get the other wrench on the flats. Let's see if I can get the camera to look at it from below. Let's try that. It's kind of obstructed. But we'll try. How's that? Get the other wrench on it and go at it. So the big nut is just stationary. We're moving the little nut. Okay, we got it broken loose. There shouldn't be hardly any fuel in the line either, because earlier today I cracked open this one and took it out, so it should be pretty much empty. There we go. Okay. Ugh. Ugh. Let that drain out. That's just cat litter next to it. We'll push some on top of that. It wasn't a whole lot. If this thing had pressure in it, it would spray like pretty violently. But what I usually do before I work on stuff, when the thing's still running, I'll pull the I'll have the car running and I'll pull the fuel pressure relay, or the fuel pump relay, I mean, and then it'll just run itself dry and there'll be no pressure at all in it. But since this thing, it's got the cylinder heads all out and everything, it's not able to start up, so this just had some residual in the lines, and now it doesn't. So we're gonna get back in there and take this filter out, put this new one in. All right. But yeah, that's the best way to do it, is to have this thing have no pressure, and it's just run the fuel pressure or fuel pump relay. Pull the fuel pump relay while it's running, and then it'll just choke out on its own, and there'll be no fuel left in the system with pressure. And an important thing to note, this thing's directional, so this is going to be pointing this way because fuel's going this way. Okay, and then these little plugs, we'll take those off, and we can save those for something miscellaneous, use of a plug in the future for something to keep contaminants out of. It's a useful thing to keep. All right, now that thing's done, we can move this stuff out of the way. And I'm going to grab this cardboard I got over here to lay on top of this, so I don't have to lay in this gasoline. So I'll do that now. Then at the end of the day, when we're done doing this, we throw that cardboard out and dispose of it properly so it's not a fire hazard. Okay. So let me grab this cardboard. It's right over here. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Yeah, that definitely beats laying on that gas thing, if you ask me. Okay. Alright guys. Alright, there's our old filter. It's all the fittings are off of it. The hold down's off of it. Okay, it's dripping a little bit. But see, this is the hold down. Okay, I'm just backing away so I don't get stuff in my face. This is one of the benefits of filming right now, is I can see through the camera to get it out without me putting my face there to catch that in my face. I would've. This is all coming out of the filter. Okay, the filter's out. Ugh. Quite a bit of gas in that filter, so be aware of that if you're doing this yourself. Or just watching me get gas all over me. I got like a couple specks on my arm. That's why I got these gloves on, guys. So here's the old filter with the mounting bracket. Gotta get this thing out of here. Oh. Okay, so that's not good anymore. This is the one we're using now. And it's directional, guys, so let me see. Here's the arrow. So fuel tank's this way, fuel's going towards the engine, okay? Okay, just making sure. And we'll put this bracket back on, the new one. That gas all over there. So I'm going to shift the cardboard over some so I'm not laying on top of fresh gasoline. Okay, so one moment. So it'll be okay. I think we're good, yeah. It's pretty much evaporating, like pretty quick. So the main thing is we're making sure we're going to have this. I'm going to try to get the camera pointed at it too. If I can get, something to prop it up. Got this. So you guys can actually see it go in. There we go. That's right there. I think I had it best right here earlier. Let's try that. Yeah, I forgot I got an extendable. Try that. I think we're right. Oh, that stupid thing's in the way. Let me go a little bit higher. Yeah, I think you got the best view right there. I'll get the light in here better. It's like a better view than I even got. All right, let's continue. All right, here we go. I think I got a new fuel line O-ring. This one doesn't have one, and it's so hard. 1 second, let me grab a cable. There we go. So this is the fuel O-ring right here. This package. It's this little round ring. Right here. Here we go. This little thing. We're gonna put this on under this side that's missing one. So let's do that now. Just to be on the safe side. So this one right here is missing it. Be careful putting these on. I know it's kind of hard to see with my hand. Let me see. Okay. Just be careful not to rip the O-ring. Not to rip it or have it fold over itself. If I can get it on there. Okay, now it's on there, but it's just got to be seated. So just a little bit of pushing it, making sure you don't fold it on itself. And it's all seated to the back of it, of the flange. Like that, that looks good. So let's continue. Okay, here we go. trying to get these things to thread in correctly so we don't cross thread nothing or damage anything. Doesn't seem to be in there right so far, so I'm not forcing it yet. Let's get the other side lined up and threaded in. Okay, that side's going in no problem. This side just needs a little more adjusting. Get that line all the way bottomed out. And there we go. Now it's all good. Get it nice and hand tight. We'll get our little mount thing somewhat in the general vicinity of where it's supposed to be. Okay, so that was a good use of that O-ring. I think it'll be good because those little things hold a lot of pressure. So, and if you know it, if it's not working right, it's gonna start spraying fuel everywhere. And look, what do you know? They different brand name fuel filter, and the nuts a little bit different size. It's not that, okay. See if this is the right one. No, that's way too small. Let's try this side. Okay, I think it's like a 21. Let me grab a 21. Here we go, we got 20. And then we need our 16 for the nut that fits on the fuel line itself. So let me grab that from underneath it. Here it is. Let's get this thing situated. Let's make sure this fits. Oh yeah, 21's perfect. Remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So, it's gonna go this way, I believe. Yep. So holding it with your other hand, the wrench. Just get it nice and snug. That's perfect. Then this side. Get that wrench on there nice and snug so you don't slip and round off your nut. Get it on there good. Okay. I think this is the other direction. Because it's pointed the other way. It seemed like it was loosening. Let me try it by hand. Yeah, it's got to go down, which makes sense. Kind of a stinky pain in the butt job, but then you got a fresh fuel filter all installed, so it's kind of worth it, if you ask me. And you know it's done, right? Depending on if you did it right, so I know I'm doing it right, so I'm pretty happy with this. Oh, the angle is hard pointing up this one. Get that. Make sure you hang on tight to your wrenches. If I didn't catch that, I would have caught that in my face. So be careful and stay vigilant. Right, another good turn and we're good. Then we just have to tighten the hold down bolt, bracket bolt, and we're good. Perfect. Okay, then this last one is a 13. And here's our bolt. We'll line up where the hole goes down this way a little bit. Right here. Thread it through by hand. Get it started by hand so you don't cross thread nothing. Let's get it lined up. It's hard to see where the hole is. Okay, right there. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to tighten it with the wrench. And this is a solid repair. You feel good to me knowing I got a fresh fuel filter in there. After doing this nice fresh GM fuel pump last month. And we got nice fresh fuel injector spider to go in. And all the other stuff we're doing up there in the engine. So, peace of mind, this is done. I don't have to put it off for another time. It's done now. There. Perfect. Let's get these nasty gloves off. And we'll take you guys down here. Right now. Oh. Okay, thanks for commenting. What am I doing? I'm working on my 2005 Chevy Astro all-wheel drive van here at my garage. So we just got done changing the fuel filter. That was a stinky job, but we finished it. So I'm pretty happy with that. Thanks for commenting, man. I appreciate it. And this nasty cardboard can get thrown outside, so we can take care of it. Don't have off gas and fumes in here being a fire hazard. Put that thing out. There. All right. So I know we have to get new power steering line here because we had both of these ones, the one on the right and the one over here. We just need to get this one in the middle. So that's got to happen. Whew. Man, that feels good getting that done. Fuel filter. This old fuel filter's got to get thrown outside too. It's got fumes coming out of it. Wow. There. I like keeping those fuel line O-rings on hand for these things, because you high chance you might booger it up by accident, or they're just missing or something like that. So I have a few. I got a few more here, like 2 more packs. Just like the power steering O-rings and like your AD O-rings. And try to get the GM ones. I'm like keeping oil filters too. With oil, obviously. But yeah. Just trying to gather my senses a little bit by being around that fuel there. I have some windows open, but man, that stuff's nasty. Even when you get the pressure out of it, it's still a lot of residual in the lines. So pretty happy we got that done there. And then we got this, where did I put it? Right here. Ignition control and the ignition control module and the ignition coil. Got that all set up, ready for the fresh to go in when we get these cylinder head back from the machine shop coming up here, because it needs new valves and new valve seats done by the shop, better than what I can do here at my own shop. So have new springs in, new valves, just all the new guts, valve guides, everything, since it's there. I'm gonna have them do it all. Then when it gets back, I'm gonna put that thing driver's side cylinder head in and do it all torque to spec with a new head gasket. And it's not warped or anything, so I don't have to worry about that. We already checked the straightness with the feeler gauges and the deck straightness tool. And then we'll take out the passenger side and do the same thing. And then we'll put back all that intake manifold and the new gaskets and our new spider injector, which is this box here. Nice new Napa made in USA unit in that box. Upper intake manifold from Dorman, because they don't make a GM one anymore. So Everything's pretty much getting refreshed on this engine besides a total rebuild. I've already done the timing chain cover. Done a ton of stuff on this thing. It's basically a 20-year refresh. I've owned this van for about a year from some old dude. So this is the van. She'll be able to be driven soon enough. 4-inch lift, 29-inch tires on it. It's all-wheel drive. I went through and changed all the seals on the transfer case, transmission, oil pan gasket, rear main seal, timing chain cover, timing chain. Quite a bit of stuff on this. And we just got done doing the fuel power steering pump coming out of it. That's what's on the floor there. That was all stripped out by the previous dude who worked on it. They stripped it out. It's getting there. So what we got here going on is we got it all prepared for this new head gasket. This spray goes with the multi-layered steel head gaskets, which are right here. With Velcro. I'll show you. This is what's coming up real soon. We're gonna do it more than likely live. By highly likely. So they don't make this stuff in the can with coming in a can. They only make an aerosol version of this. So this is what was required coming from the book. I'll show you this book from this Haynes manual. It recommends that copper gasket product to be used with a multi-layered steel gasket. If you're not using multi-layered steel gasket, this book recommends you don't need the copper. This stuff's recommended, a must. It has to be done according to that book with a multi-layered steel. So we're following that. That's what's going to be going into this real soon. Once we send that cylinder head over here, that's wrapped up in the plastic. Once we send it to the machine shop to get the valve job done, all the guts changed out, new valve seats and such and so forth. Basically better than I'm going to do here in the garage. So that way it's done right and I don't have to worry about some weird tick going on like 5 months later or something nonsense, you know. So that's the whole reasoning behind sending it off. So then these new head gaskets can go into it. And then these are new head studs because you need to have new hardware because they're torqued to yield. They're one-time use bolts. So the ones that come out, you got to change them out to fresh ones. And then follow the torque specifications. And we got this thread chaser set. So before we put the head studs on the lower intake manifold there and the upper, we're going to chase the threads out gently. Then we're going to use a vacuum cleaner and then shop air afterward to blow out any debris that could possibly be in there. So stay tuned for that kind of stuff if you like that kind of stuff. We're getting to the home stretch here. I'm finishing up on this head gasket and fuel injector, lower and upper intake manifold stuff. And then we just got the ignition coil and ignition coil control module all done here, all set to go, freshly swapped over, new blue streak stuff. Hey, everything on this channel is bought with my own money. There's no paid advertisement or anything here. I buy this stuff for myself. doing it in my own garage, you know. So that thing's all good to go. I'm pretty happy with the way things are going on this. It's just a little time consuming. I don't have an unlimited budget to have the valves and everything in this month. So it's gonna start the next month. We'll get all that stuff done and send it to the machine shop. So a lot of stuff coming up. Here, I could show you the inside of the van, what it's looking like right now with the doghouse, if you're curious. I got the light right here. So this is what's called the doghouse. It's basically your center console in these vans, because they don't have or they have the, it's not like a traditional style hood. If you know what minivans look like, some of these, they're known as like a cab over engine, where the engine's just like built backward into the vehicle. That's how the hood looks so short, because the engine's basically is recessed into the cab. It makes it kind of nice to work on the backside of the engine in some regards. Other things can be a kind of a pain. And this has 2-inch body spacers from the Journeys kit that they sell. I think it's the only kit that's available to buy for a lift in this. But when you put that on the subframe, there's 6 spacers, and it gives you a lot more clearance than the engine to get things in and out. Like doing spark plug jobs, it's a lot easier, a million times easier with that. They make a 3-inch spacer kit too, but you have to have buy a whole expensive kit for it, and I didn't really want to do that, so I bought the 2 to 3-inch lift kit from them. And the 3-inch one, you have to use an extender thing that goes on your steering shaft also, otherwise it messes things up. And so right now the cylinder head's off. This is all pretty much prepared. We got to clean up a bit better in here still. It's okay because we still have to wait to send that to the machine shop, the cylinder head. And we've already checked that the deck of this cylinder head with the deck straightness tool with the feeler gauges, and it's within spec. Same with the cylinder head. But this wasn't even a blown head gasket either, so I'm not surprised. This was just because I was already in here doing the intake manifolds gaskets along with the spider injector. This is basically a 20-year refresh, so I was like, well, who knows what these cylinder head gaskets look like. Let's just take it down and put a new set of head gaskets in it, all done right, you know? So it's a peace of mind. So when we're driving it, we don't got to worry about the head gaskets going out in it or anything else in it. Because I already did the timing chain and timing chain cover in this earlier, a few months ago. About 3 or 4 months ago. New rear main seal, new oil pan gaskets, all new transfer case gaskets. I tore this all apart. There's a bunch of videos on here if you're curious about it. Well, this is the only part I didn't do, is the upper part of the engine stuff. So I'm like, well, I'm going to do that now. While I'm already in here doing the spider injector, because the spider injector was bad and it was causing it to have lean codes. I'll tell you what the symptoms were when I was driving this. It's pretty notorious for this kind of engine with the spider injector, the nature of it. So I even changed the fuel pump in this to a new GM one last month. And then after that, I was driving it about 50 miles away to the city there to do some, and going up and down hills, because this is Colorado, there's hilly areas too. I'm more of in like the desert area myself, but anyway, going down the hills, I mean, this thing would start cutting out bad, like with the injector and probably some vacuum leaks. I did find a vacuum leak on the PCV hose Not the PCV valve itself. The PCV you can see right here. It's on this driver's side bank. It's this thing right here that I'm pointing and poking at. That's coming out of the valve cover. That's good. It's the hose that hooks to that, then hooks to the upper intake manifold. It's the plastic thing. That hose had a crack on it, like a pretty good one, so it was leaking a lot of air. So I think that wasn't helping either. And it's hard to tell because, like I said, this is deep inside the engine bay, these kind of vehicles. So that's the main reason why I'm going to town on like working on changing all this stuff while I'm already in here. Because once you seal this thing back up, it's not like it's easy to get to. Like say like on like I have a 98 Chevy Blazer outside I got last month. It's got the same engine as this, but it's a whole lot easier to get in and out of to work on the engine on that. Like it's like a dream versus this. Like this is good practice for working on that. That needs head gaskets. I got it for $300 off of Marketplace. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all that stuff coming up here. Also, what we could do right now, I just noticed, let me dig out the parts. The throttle position sensor right there. And I believe, yeah, I have that too. The idle air control valve as well. Let's change that stuff now. I knew there was other stuff, and if I sat around, something would pop in my head, and it finally did. Just getting these things installed so we don't got to worry about it later. Because that's the other thing. I was refreshing that stuff out. I think this is the throttle position sensor. Right here. Yep. So that's going to go in there and get installed right now. And I got an idle air control valve sitting around here. Let me grab that. Just get all this stuff banged out while we're waiting to get our cylinder head done. And it's like a couple less things to worry about. Here we go. This should be the idle air control valve. And these things make it run a million times better when you get a refresh of things like that. So I changed that on my 98 K1500 last year, the idle air control valve, and man, it made a huge difference. It's not like hunting as much for the idle as it would have been. So, okay, we got the throttle body off right here. We'll get you in position. A lot of stuff's torn apart right here, so. Let me get you guys in focus. That's pretty good. So right here in front of where you're looking at, idle air control valve. Let me get the light in here better. Idle air control valve. And it looks like they're held in with Torx on both of them. Yeah, we'll get those out and change those out while we're here. You know, just makes sense. Here's the new parts. Let's make sure they actually look similar before we start taking anything off. Oh yeah, that looks like identical. Idle air control valve. Okay. Kind of delicate stuff, so we're going to keep it in the box until it's the old one's out and we put the new one in right away and tighten it in. Okay, let's check this and see if this looks similar. This one's the idle air control valve. And see how delicate these things are? They put a little cap on it. So you take that off right before you install it. And this looks like it's right on the money, guys. Even in the same orientation. See the plug? Okay. The holes, everything looks the same. So now I'll go back in the box and we're going to get out the Torx bits. There's probably some in here, probably more than likely. I got a whole couple sets of those out here too. Wait, this one looks like it might fit right here. Let's see. So I think I used this one on the distributor ones earlier. Let's see if it fits. Oh, perfect. You know, careful and take your time. Make sure this thing's in there tight before you turn it. Let's get the camera in better so you can see it. Let me get the light in better. Oops. Pushing buttons. Whoops. That's better. Okay. Something to be aware of is they also make what's called an e-Torx. Like there's externals, but then there's like e-Torx. Or no, Torx Plus. That's what I was talking about. Well, yeah, there's e-Torx too, which is external. But Torx Plus is something like that's going to be like inside your transmission, like this kind of transmission here. And those kind are, you have to have those kind to take out the bolts that are on the inside of the transmission. If you try to use regular Torx, it'll slip and strip out. It's not a regular. It looks like it is, but it doesn't grip the way it's supposed to, and it'll slip and strip everything out. And when you research it, you'll find that out. It's kind of like the carpet screws, or pretty much any screw that looks like a Phillips head on these vehicles, especially this vehicle I found. They have what's called posi drive screwdrivers. They look like a Phillips head, but they're if you try to use Phillips on it, say I tried to use a Phillips carpet keepers on this thing, they would they slip and came out and strip the screws out. So I learned that after doing that. So here's our new one. Start your screws by hand. Cross thread it. This is going to be a huge pain in your butt if you strip these out. That one was trying to. So I'm going to go counterclockwise until I feel it slip in. And then I'm going to go clockwise. Then we're going to take this off and tighten it by hand and then get it in and cinch it up with the ratchet once we get bottomed out by hand. But it's just good peace of mind changing this stuff out right now. Not waiting till the last minute. That way when we get everything in like we're supposed to be, we can just install it. Not have to worry about this stuff because it's already done. And since this is sitting here open to the air, we would just take this and put this over here, the clean part, to protect that sensor from just getting residual dust on it while it sits and waits for the parts to come in. Because normally this is all protected by from the environmental air by being hooked up to the upper intake manifold. But since this is open, this is how we protect it. Okay. We're just doing one of these things at a time, so that way we know we get it totally tight and then we don't forget anything. And we're really tight choked up on the ratchet head. See how, I'll show you. See how my hand's really high up on it? It gives it less torque because these are really sensitive to over torquing and stripping versus being way down here. You're gonna, that's way too much. If you crank on it like Hercules, there's a good chance you're gonna break something. So to prevent that, this is why I do that. This is just what I do. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I do. And that's plenty to me, that torque right there. So let's take off this one up here now. Get it in there good. Like put a bunch of pressure on it while you're turning so you don't slip and strip anything out. And then you got these screws all stripped out. And it's more pain in the butt stuff. Easily avoided. And then make sure, just like your sockets, this thing fits like a glove. So make sure whatever fasteners you're moving, you have the right socket. In this case, it's a T20. Yeah, T20. Just keep going at it to find the right socket. You just keep finding the one that fits the tightest. Absolutely the tightest. Because it's worth doing your research doing that. If you do just grab any old thing in front of you and it's kind of loose, it'll strip it out, and then you got a lot worse problems. Okay, there we go. Old throttle position sensor. She's out. Let's compare it to the new one before we go all crazy and throw it away or anything. Very important. And I'll show you here in a second. Whoops. Here's the new. Where's the old? Okay. And also, something to note, I'm going to take you in closer to show you this. This is what's called a stepper motor. I'll show you what we're talking about. Ooh, okay. So, you can see that shaft right here. See how it's got that little like index cut? It's not a complete circle. That's what the motor in here that's hooked to. It's known as a stepper motor. So that's a little sensor, and it runs off of like millivolts. Basically making an opening and closing ground, kind of like your fuel injectors. So this thing runs off of like millivolts, and it tells the computer where your how open or closed that throttle plate is. And then this one maintains this idle air control valve. This one maintains your idle. So both really important. I'm gonna move you back a little bit so I can get in there with my hands better. Okay, there we go. We'll get our light in here better too. And just make sure this thing has the same little shape too. Like the half the circle with the cut through it. So just be gentle and slide it over. It shouldn't have to force anything. Just like that. And then we're going to take our screws one at a time, start them by hand. And as you can see, I cleaned the throttle plate recently when I took this out. There's still a couple little bits of carbon in there, and we'll get that soon. I just have to get some more throttle plate cleaner. Because it was pretty gross. And that's going to help this thing run a million times better with these new sensors and this thing being clean and all fresh. So yeah, we're doing it by hand. Get it in there as good as you can until it's bottomed out, till you can't turn it anymore by hand. So if you try to just start ratcheting it, it's the back drag, what's known as the back drag of your ratchet, it's gonna just keep spinning freely and not actually turning. So to avoid that, that's what we do. And if you already know that, just disregard. I'm just trying to teach some people that they don't know anything. So we don't go all the way tight on one side before the other. We get it, try to get them evenly clamped. Like, don't go too much, like all the way down this one, and this one's not, because then it'll be like uneven. It's just better to do a gradual. And we're choked way up on the ratchet like before, so we're not way out here like doing too much leverage and breaking stuff, because these are delicate. Less is more with this stuff, so just be careful. Perfect on that side. So we'll cinch up this one more, and then this one a little bit more. Perfect. And then we're going to check these. That one feels good. That one too. And that's how it's done on that, guys. How I do it. Not telling you how to do it, just how I do it. Here's our old stuff. We'll keep that stuff sitting around in case something's wrong for some, strange reason. Sometimes parts are defective, so before you go ahead and throw it in the trash can, just sit it there. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't take up much space. Or maybe even a spare. Probably highly unlikely you need them, but you have them. So now that that part's done, I can show you this dash mat thing that I put in. I had this problem with this part sticking up because I didn't have enough Velcro that came with it. So I got some Velcro at Walmart and stuck that on there. So we'll see more about that as soon as we get this van driving again. We just got to wait for the heads to get sent in and come back. But pretty good, pretty excited. We got quite a bit done today here on live from this morning and right now. Pretty happy with that. We have to pick these sandals are making noise. We have we still got basically just the cylinder head stuff is what we're going to be waiting on. And finishing up, we got to get that last power steering line there, because the one in the middle, I'll point to it right there in the center. That one we're missing. I ordered the other two. These are the old lines all on the floor. And after moving the power steering pump out of the way, I could see that that one line was, I didn't order it yet, so that's coming soon. There's the power steering pump bracket / AC compressor bracket. And fluid reservoir right underneath that. So we're making progress, guys. And all the stuff that's like the critical stuff out of the engine, all these specs are coming out of this book, so it's not like I'm just pulling out of thin air. Because that's the gasket spray for the head gaskets for the multi-layer steel that are right there. So that's what's coming up, guys. We just taking it a day at a time, paycheck at a time. There's only so much I can do on not having an unlimited budget. But hopefully it helps stuff. We did get a valve lapping tool here. But we'll end up getting a chance to use that soon enough. I'm just gonna stand around and chit chat for a bit and call it a night after that. But oh yeah, this is the important tool right here coming up for these cylinder heads torque specifications. We picked this up like a week or two ago. I'll show you it. The light here. There we go. Set this down so I can not have to hold it. Pretty excited about this tool because it does the angle torque as well. And that's what it calls for on this van. 3 different set torque angles it needs on this. So there's a short, medium, and long, and then also this stuff's going on it too, on those head studs. I used it on the water pump and I was pretty happy about it. Not a leak at all. I mean, I didn't think there would be, but anyway. So here's the torque wrench we're going to be using. And it runs off of 2 AA batteries. And it's got a flex head. It's pretty stiff flex head, which is good. It's not all blown out. I'm pretty happy with that. So it does 20 to 100 foot-pounds. Bought with my own money, guys. It's just what I'm going to be using. Because each one of those head studs, when you do the sequence, there's 13 in total, and it's going to need 22 foot-pounds to each one. But then there's a short, medium, and long length bolts, and according to each length, they have a different torque angle to do for the final setting on each one. I think one's like 60 and then like 55 on different ones, and like 30 or something. Whatever it says in the book, I can't remember exactly, and I can't eyeball that stuff. I'm like, I might as well just suck it up and buy a torque wrench that does the angles. So I'm pretty stoked about getting a chance to use this coming up. And I know a lot of other stuff takes torque angles, so this will take a lot of the headache out of it to have it. So I'm pretty excited about getting a chance to use that. And then we got the thread chaser set for cleaning out all the threads on the cylinder heads, as long as, and also the lower intake manifold. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's the lower intake manifold from this 05 Astro van. And what I was talking about chasing the threads out is these bolts here. There's 8 in total on this lower intake manifold on the corners. And this is just some string. What's really crucial about doing that, chasing those threads out and blowing them out with shop air and a vacuum. First we'll do a vacuum and then shop air, and then we'll go through and chase it with the thread chaser, the taps basically. We'll do that, and then we'll go back through again with the vacuum and then the shop air, and then we'll go ahead and get our bolts prepared, our new hardware, and we'll torque them to spec through the sequence according to service information from the Haynes manual. I'll show you the thread chasers I got if you didn't see them already. So this is the thread chaser set we just got. It's a 15-piece metric set. So these will go on the end of the tool. And like I said, we'll run the vacuum cleaner and then the shop air through the air compressor. Get it all nice and clean. Run these through it, then do the same thing with the vacuum cleaner and the shop air again. And then go ahead and get the bolts all prepped and do them in the torque sequence. Follow everything by the book. So that's pretty much what's going on. It'll be nice when this thing gets done. I can pull in I have to work on the wife's vehicle coming next. The 98 Ford Expedition needs a front end suspension rebuild. So it'll be good to get that done. And then we can either pull my truck in the 98 K1500, do the clutch and the head gasket on that, or we could start working on the 98 Chevy Blazer we got up there too, because that needs head gas. So we got a bunch of projects going on. Tomorrow I got to go fix a lady here at my church's lawnmower, and then the other one just needs some service done, just like, routine service. So I'm going to get that done too. I think it's like a Cub Cadet riding mower. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow. Also, we're waiting on getting the word on whether they're doing it or not. It's a 98 Ford Ranger that needs head gaskets from a friend of mine. And when we get word of that, we'll have that here and we'll start doing that on the channel as well. So quite a bit of things coming up. We're always busy here. So stay tuned. I don't know what else to say right now. I mean, I'm pretty excited about having all this stuff to do. Yeah, we just have to hunt down to getting these hoses too. That hose there is coming off the old power steering pump. I gotta get, I think it's like a 1/2 inch diameter. We'll get that coming up too and swap those out. Because every other hose is getting swapped out. The gearbox was okay. Wash everything out with fresh power steering fluid. Pretty good. And then we have an inline filter to put in it as well, which is somewhere around here. But yeah, that stuff will get done. So this thing will have like all new everything, this van. So been doing a whole bunch of stuff on this thing. I got to get the wiring harness adapters so these LED headlights run correctly. Apparently they don't just run, just plug and play. They needed some adapter that didn't come with it. So we'll have to get that done still too. Oh, I'll show you what I did to get the the AC compressor out of the way that I was working on this morning. Got it tied up with 550 cord off of the power steering pump reservoir bracket bolts. Seem to be working pretty good. And now I can get full access under there in the engine bay to get to the power steering stuff. Then so you can see the breather hose for the front drive axle right there. Easy access because that's usually buried by the power steering pump bracket and all that stuff. I'll check and see if it's all brittle and change that out too while I'm in there. It looks just like a regular 3/8 hose. Then this has a regular cap for the breather, so it doesn't look too complicated. Yep. A lot of stuff's been done on this so far. Like every radiator hose is changed in this. Anything with coolant is changed. All those heater valves down here, they're all changed that you're looking at. Vacuum ball canisters changed out. All the lines on it. So the HVAC system works really good because of that. It's got rear heat and rear AC all good in it. Everything's new in that part. Two new heater cores changed in this, the front and rear, and all the lines and the rubber and the lines is all changed out. Ton of stuff's been done on this. It's been a project like over the last year. But it's finally starting to be coming to an end and coming to be done all the way. So cylinder head's out right now. We're going to put new gaskets in that. But it's got new alternator, new water pump, new serpentine belt tensioners and idler, new harmonic balancer, new timing chain, and timing chain sprockets, and new radiator. It's got a ton of new stuff in here. And it's about to be ready to be driven again. We're just getting there. New engine motor mounts, yep. New U-joints. The front drive shaft's all completely new. A new one from Dorman. Made in USA, it says on it, so I'm pretty happy with that, I guess. And when I test drove it and stuff, it didn't have any weird driveline vibration. Pretty happy with that. The only other thing that looks like it's going to be a problem coming up is that front drive, not the front drive shaft, the front differential right down there. It had like a weird whine going about 50 miles an hour quite a bit. And then sometimes it doesn't do it. And I know it's not the wheel bearings because it's got 2 new front wheel bearings in this. All the front suspension, everything's done in this. Upper lower control arm bushings, tie rods, ball joints, all that stuff's changed. Steering drag link, all done torque to spec. It's got a fresh alignment and new big tires and a lift in it. It's got a lot of stuff done, guys. Just want to get it reliable so we can drive it cross country for stuff with the family. It's, family vehicle. But yeah, the AC compressor is nice when it's all hung up like that. Not pulling it up out of the way. Pretty handy having that 550 cord. That's what's holding it up. Basically, it's called paracord too. So it's basically pretty strong string. So that's what's going on. So we're just waiting to get new valves and new guts for that cylinder head that's wrapped up in plastic. It's got the coating of Marvel Mister on it. It's been super cleaned. And it's going to get new valves and springs and all the guts. New valve guides. Everything that's in there can get changed. We're going to get it all changed at this machine shop. New valve seats all done and everything. So everything will be sealing all good. This thing should have a whole lot more power and run real good. Because I know if I did the job, it probably wouldn't be like it's supposed to be as good. So to avoid that and get it done right, the first time, we're just going to get it done at the machine shop. Just makes a whole lot more sense to me to do it like that than to just try to do it myself. Because I know I don't have any practice of like doing this, That's something that's buried in the engine. So once you do it and you have to take it back out, it's the whole all this stuff all over again, and I'm not looking forward to do that. So to avoid that, we'll just do it right. As much as it tests my patience, it sucks, but it is what it is. So that's about it for right now. We got a bunch of projects coming up. So tomorrow I got stuff going on where I'm working on a lawnmower for a lady at the church. So we got stuff going on. But not sure what else we can talk about right now. So here's the van. We're getting closer and closer to being done. So it is quite like a labor of love going through these things to get them all, freshened up. This is the last model year that they made these. This is an 05, and that's 20 years old now. So I'll have to refresh in it. Yeah, it's got a new distributor to go into it too, with all that stuff. Yeah, it's got the 4-inch lift in it right now too, so pretty good clearance. This thing had like busted out body mounts when I first got it, so it was sagging like 2 inches instead of being up like the regular ride height like it's supposed to be. So now when you go over speed bumps and stuff, you don't have to worry about bottoming out. So it rides pretty good. It's got the fresh alignment done last month. All the new tires. So it's getting there, guys. The other thing what I'm gonna do is get the windshield switched out because it's got a crack in it. And then I'm gonna tint the upper portion of it. And then the driver's side and basically all the windows. I'm gonna do 20% all around the back, tinting it myself. And then I'm gonna tint the driver and passenger side with like 5% limo tint. Kind of like my truck is. My truck's got super dark tint on the windows. It's a 98 Chevy K1500 truck. It's got really nice tinted windows. They don't bother you about that stuff here in Colorado. Where I used to live in New York, you couldn't have nothing like that. So kind of like that out here. They don't give you a hard time about that stuff. And I just put the vent visor things in it recently too. So it'll be pretty sweet once we get it all good to go. I'll go ahead and put this thing on the charger. I forgot to put it on last night. Come out to a dead light. So I'm going to make sure you charge them. Yeah, we got more stuff coming up here. We got some stuff to do for the church lady tomorrow, working on her lawnmower. So we're have some stuff out about that. It's nothing really that major. I think one thing's kind of, I got to change like the pull string on the push mower, but the other things like her riding mower, that just needs like service, like routine maintenance. Then hopefully that dude gets back to me about working on his 98 Ford Ranger for head gaskets and probably everything else it needs, timing belt, all that stuff. Because I'm not just going to do a head gasket job and be like, dude, that's good. Because it probably needs all the other stuff that's while you're in there, all the other gaskets, timing belt. Because that's got a belt. That's not even a chain in that thing. It's the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder Ford Ranger, 98 Ford Ranger. So it looks like a pretty simple, straightforward job to do. I don't think it doesn't look too bad. Should be able to get that done pretty quick. 4-cylinder, it's just 1-cylinder head. So as long as it's not super warped or anything, like out of spec or something. Guess we'll find that out when we get into it. Because I don't think, this guy don't really know much about cars, so from his limited stuff, it's hard to say. Because I don't even think he owned the truck. I think it's his friends. So we'll get to that. We'll figure that out when we get to it. If he gives me the opportunity to work on it, we'll find out soon enough. I know those engines seem to got pretty good power. Cause I used to have a '97 Chevy S10 with a 2.2 liter that's like in the Chevy Cavalier. That thing was so gutless. But when I used to work at Monroe Muffler Brake, we used to have the shop truck, had the 2.5 4-cylinder. It was like an 04 Ford Ranger. And that thing, we filled it up with about, like, what was it? Like, almost like 2,000 pounds worth of scrap metal in the back of it. And it was moving it pretty good. It didn't like it, but the release springs didn't like it for the most part. Because there was like a ton of brake rotors. You had to take all the scrap metal from doing all the, mostly brake jobs. Tons of rotors. Those get heavy when you have tons of them in the truck bed. So that little engine, it handled it like a champ, surprisingly. Pretty good little truck. So I'll be curious to actually get my hands to tear one apart and go through it. So we're getting closer to getting this van figured out or put back together. This takes time. Because it's either you have the parts or you're waiting for time to install the parts, or you're waiting for money to buy the parts, or waiting to tear into it to see what parts you need to buy. A lot of times you think you don't need anything, then you tear into it and you find other stuff's gone bad, and then you got to get those, or something you didn't know you needed, so you got to buy that too. And it takes time for the parts to show up at the door. It's okay though. Just take it one bite at a time. Eventually you get through it. That's how I look at it. So all this stuff was quite a bit of stuff as the time going on. Okay. air it out a little bit more. Because you had to get that fuel filter out changed. Just getting a little more ventilation with that. Because we had the windows and the door open here. But now we got the big doors open. Get some better ventilation. Yeah, that gasoline fumes is nasty stuff. Yeah, I had pretty good amount of fuel come out of that area when I took the fuel filter out. So that's why we're airing it out better. We'll get this door open too. Yeah, there's a lot of crickets around here. It's like my trademark noise every time I'm on here. It's nice that the weather's calming down here more toward fall because it's super hot here every day. It's like southeast Colorado. It's pretty hot, man. Most of the days in the summer are about over 100, and it doesn't rain very much at all. Nice. That's the right sensor. So and this sensor came out of the cylinder head. Hey, how's it going, Amir? Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. Coolant temperature sensor that goes into the cylinder head. So we got a fresh one to go into it when the time comes to install it. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more stuff. Upload stuff weekly. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Till next time.